Recently through LinkedIn, Instagram and all of social media, a lot of students have reached out to me and asked me, Afsal, I've got an interview coming up, I've got an assessment centre coming up, but I have no clue how to dress for the interview. Do you have any tips, any advice? What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Afsal Hussain. You can find out a bit more about me through the social media links below, or you can check out my website, which is www.afsalhussain.com. For those of you that are new here, do consider subscribing to the channel, turn on post notifications, that way you'll get notified every Wednesday when I release a video, and do consider giving a thumbs up to this video if you find any of the content interesting or useful or valuable. Also, do feel free to share this video on social media with any of your friends and peers, because right now it's interview season, assessment centre season, so if you can share it, a lot of people might get value from it and it might provide some insight that someone otherwise might not have been privy of. Now, last week's video we spoke about how to ace the interview question, tell me about yourself. You can check that out, it's on the channel. But this week what I want to talk about, given it's interview season, given it's assessment centre season, is how to dress for interviews. Because recently through LinkedIn, Instagram and all of social media, a lot of students have reached out to me and asked me, Afsal, I've got an interview coming up, I've got an assessment centre coming up, but I have no clue how to dress for the interview. Do you have any tips, any advice? So I thought, you know what, let me make a video because I've been asked quite a few times. And so let's get straight into it. Everything we're going to cover in this video is going to be timestamped below, so you can just skip to the bits you're most interested in. But a few of the things we are going to cover, how should male candidates dress, how should female candidates dress, what colours should they wear, accessories, rings, watches, tie clips, do I recommend them, is it recommended, a few essentials before and after the interview, what colours work well, should you go for, trendy outfits as opposed to simple and plain outfits, basic things like grooming, essential checks that you should do the night before or on the day. So lots of things we're going to cover, so let's get straight into it. Let's start with male candidates. So immediately what you should be thinking about when you've got an interview is, obviously you're not going to go in smart casual or casual wear, you're going to put on a suit. But you don't want to make the mistake of going for the wrong colour suit, because colour is very important. We're not going to wear a light suit, a light blue suit, light grey suit, white suit, nothing like that. We're going to stay away, and it's very important to stay away from light and bright colours for your suit for an interview. You want to go for dark colours. You don't want to go for black is okay, but you don't want to go for black. Main reason being, black is often seen as, tuxedos or very, very formal events or funerals. You want to stay away from that. The most neutral, the best colour you can go for a suit for an interview is navy. When you think of someone in a navy dark blue suit, what comes to mind? President. If you Google president right now and click on images, you're going to see so many pictures of presidents and they're all going to be in navy suits. When you put on a navy suit, you display power, you display strength of character, confidence. These are the characteristics that you want to display in an interview. So navy suits is a must for any male going to an interview, because it just gives off the right message. Anything else is a bit riskier to wear. So definitely choice of suit, colour of suit should be navy when you're going for an interview. That brings me on to the shirt. You do not want to wear a shirt like this. This is a very casual shirt. I wouldn't wear this to an interview. To be honest, this would not match with any tie on this planet. So the shirt that you wear with your navy suit, I recommend wearing a plain, simple white shirt. Nothing fancy, just simple white shirt. Or you could do a light blue shirt. If you're going to wear a dark suit, you want to match it with a light coloured shirt. So simple, navy suit, white shirt. And then your tie can be used to express a bit of your character, express a bit of personality. I wouldn't actually recommend wearing a plain tie with a plain shirt. So if you're wearing a white shirt, you should definitely wear a tie that has a few patterns on it. Nothing too extravagant, nothing too trendy, nothing too fancy, just a few patterns, whether it's stripes, checks, whatever it is, simple patterned tie to match the white shirt and the dark navy suit. So you've got your blazer, you've got your shirt, you've got your tie, And then, so your trousers are obviously going to be matching the blazer, dark blue. And then we go on to your shoes. But before we go to the shoes, we want to talk about socks. It's actually super important because some people use socks to display a bit more personality. They might have customized or patterned, you know, intricate patterned socks, or just red and blue dotted socks, whatever it might be. My personal preference is whatever color the shoes, which is often, or 99% of the times, it's black shoes. I match my socks with either the shoes or the suit. So I either go navy socks, plain simple navy, or black socks. Preference, if I'm wearing a navy suit, I wear navy socks. You don't want to have too many patterns on the socks. Keep it simple. That brings me on to the shoes. Your shoes, so there's so many different types and styles of shoes that men can choose. You've got Oxfords, you've got brogues, you've got loafers. My advice, my personal preference, I don't like brogues because there's a lot of patterns. I like to keep it simple and plain. So I go for Oxfords, simple, black shoes, no patterns, no gimmicks. It's just easy, simple, and it looks professional. Alternatively, I do like wearing black leather loafers, so you can consider that. But it's up to you, Oxfords, brogues, or loafers. In America, I think they do a lot more navy suit, brown shoes. But in the UK, keep it to navy suit and then black shoes. Very important, make sure your shoes are polished. Make sure they don't look rough. Make sure they don't look, you know, unattended to. Make sure they don't look dusty and old. Get a decent pair of shoes. Make sure they fit. You don't want to look like a clown with shoes so big that it makes you walk funny or look funny. So do consider making sure your shoes are polished. Simple, not too many patterns, not too many designs. The look we're going for is basically simple. You don't want to stand out. You want your conversation and your CV and your dialogue in the interview to make you stand out, as opposed to what you're wearing. None of what you're wearing should stand out in the interview. It should come across as, okay, he looks smart. That's it. So that's the basic overview of what a guy should consider wearing for an interview. Or on the flip side, what should females consider wearing for interviews? And for the most part, it's pretty similar. Simple, nothing extravagant, nothing too loud. Just literally, it is going to be similar process. So consider wearing a blazer or a suit. So with your blazer, black. For females, black, again, black is fine, but preference for navy or a dark grey. Accompany that with a white blouse, or, you know, you can use, for females, because you're not wearing a tie, you can use your blouse to express some personality or your character. So it could be a bit more brighter. The blouse could have some discreet patterns, not too loud, but a simple solid color always works best. So solid white, solid green, whatever it is, make it a solid color. Just like the guys' shirts, white, solid, no patterns, no stripes, just solid white. Now for the females, navy or dark blue blazer, accompany that with a contrasting blouse, and then you can wear either trousers or a skirt. Now this is very important for females. You know, you're going to a professional interview, so you want to come across professional. You don't want to have a skirt that's too short. You don't want it to be too long, because that could be considered too trendy as well. Knee length is usually fine. A bit longer than knee length is also fine. Or you can wear trousers, but whatever you do wear, don't make it too tight. You don't want to leave the wrong impression. So that's your blazer, you've got your blouse, you've got your skirt or trousers. And then shoes. For females, shoes are very important. Simple. Don't wear heels that are too long. Heels are fine. Consider not extremely short, moderate length heels, not too high. Make sure you can walk comfortably in them. That's pretty much it on the general high level overview for what females and males should wear. Now we're going to go into a bit more detail on some of the specifics and into the more finer details that might be confusing you or that a lot of students have questions about. Very, very important point to consider. Regardless of where you buy your suit, you know, you don't, for both male and female candidates, you don't need to go and break the bank. You don't need to go and break the budget and go and buy a designer suit. You don't, at the same time, you don't want to go and be extremely, you know, cost focused and buy a suit that doesn't look like it's made out of a good quality, especially when you're applying or interviewing for an investment bank, professional services firm, consulting, or any professional service firm or law firm, any professional industry. You know, you don't want to come across as you haven't taken the time and invested in the attire that you're wearing, but at the same time you don't want to go above and beyond for no reason. Now, I won't be able to give recommendations for females because I'm not an expert at going female shopping for interviews. For men, you know, you don't need to go break the bank. You can hit up Charles Tyrwhitt, TM Lewin, all these basic simple shops. They do good shirts, they do decent suits, shoes, what you need. Just all you need to do, prioritize, both men and female. Number one thing you need to prioritize is the fit. The way you dress, fit is a huge part of how you will come across in the interview. Because if you're wearing an outfit that fits you, one, it's going to make you look better. But more importantly, there's a psychological effect. If you are wearing clothes that fit well and they make you look good, you're naturally going to be more confident, right? And it's extremely important to be confident in an interview for obvious reasons. On the flip side, when you're wearing clothes that is loose, it doesn't look too good, it doesn't fit you well, and it just doesn't look good on you, and thus makes you look not as good as you might look otherwise, it dents your confidence. It's going to make you feel worse. It's not going to make you feel the best. And naturally, if you want to perform good, you need to feel good. You dress good to feel good, right? So make sure fit is very important. Some suits are going to be slim fit, tailor fit, what have you. I'm not saying go and get them custom tailored, but what you can do is look for either the slim fits or the larger fits, whatever works for you. Just make sure it looks good and it fits well, because that will play a huge role in boosting your confidence on the day and making you feel good. And naturally, when you are in a well-fitted outfit, the person opposite the table notices it, and they say to themselves, you know what, this individual, they conduct themselves well, they carry themselves well, they know how to dress, they dress appropriately, they dress smart. I would be happy and confident to take this individual to client meetings. I would be happy and confident to take this individual to internal meetings with senior management. You know, the way you conduct yourself and present yourself is important, because if you're looking scruffy and messy and your collar, I hate it when I see guys with collars like scrunched up, because I'm like, when I see that, it's like does that not annoy you? So basically, try and be neat, organized, and yeah, try and find an outfit that fits you, because fit is super important, but not enough attention is paid to it. Also, why do you think, you know, celebrities, sports person, whatever it is, all these successful people, they look good? Because they choose clothes that fit well. So you should consider your fit, no matter where you're buying your clothes from. Make sure it fits well, because that will boost your confidence. If it fits good, it will make you feel more confident, but more than anything, it will relax you. The last thing you want is to be in an interview where the blazer is too tight, or where the trousers are too tight, or where your shoes are so uncomfortable and the back of the heel is just peeling off the back of your heel because it's too tight, or it's not broken into, or it's causing blisters. You don't want to be in an uncomfortable position. So try on all your clothes beforehand, make sure it's comfortable, make sure the fit is good, and then in the interview it will just help you relax and be confident. So keep that in mind, very important tip. If you want to play it safe for your suit, for guys mainly, so obviously you've got plain suits, you've got pinstripe suits, you've got checkered square pattern suits. Avoid the checkered square pattern suits. You're not going on a fashion show, you're going to an interview. There's no need to stand out. If it's trendy, leave it out. That's the top tip. If it's trendy, leave it out. Checkered suits. Pinstripe suits, often the senior guys in the industry wear those pinstripe suits. Oftentimes when you see an intern or a young one come through and they're in pinstripe suits and they dress like they run the show, people will look at them and be like, you're an intern, humble yourself. So keep it safe. Personally, personal preference, simple, no designs, no squares, no patterns, nothing, just simple dark blue, navy, not even pinstripes, because you want to give off the impression that you understand your place in the hierarchy, right? So same for male candidates and female candidates. It's an interview, you just want to go in there, smash it, get out, get your offer. When you enter the industry, you know, you can express your personality a bit more, but priority number one for an interview is tick all the boxes, get the offer and kick, right? So keep that in mind. Now this brings me on to, I've got a list, I've got so many things here that I'm literally running through for this video. Okay, now you're probably thinking, what about accessories, watches, jewelry and all that good stuff? So let's do ladies first this time. So watches, completely fine. If you've got more than one watch, go for something the most professional. You can lay them out and you can decide which watch is the most professional. You don't want to go for a watch that's got like 10 different diamonds on it and that's blinging and it's too loud. Always remember, don't go for too loud, and we'll touch on makeup and all of that in a bit. You don't want to be too loud, you want to be professional. So go for a watch simple professional leather straps maybe, and make sure it's working. Because why would you wear a watch that isn't working? No, simple leather straps maybe. My preference is leather straps, but simple watch, nothing too extravagant. Then you might be wanting to wear earrings. Once again, don't make the earrings too big. Don't make, if you want them to be small, they can, but you don't want the earrings to be in the face of the interviewer. You want them to express or match up with your outfit. Something simple, something professional. And then bracelets, optional. Basically, the key is not to have, don't overkill it, don't overdo it. You don't want to wear too much jewelry. 1 ring per hand is fine, any more than that is probably too much. But any unnecessary or excessive jewelry, leave it out. And always remember, the best piece of advice I can give you is, if in doubt, leave it out. In anything in life, if in doubt, leave it out. Don't risk it, basically. One other thing, if you've got a piercing on your nose or somewhere on your face, I don't know. I know some people might say, oh, it's me, that's me as a person. That's, you know, that's completely fine. But in the professional environment, you're going into the city, right? So if you're going to applying for a more relaxed company or industry, maybe you can get away with it. But the general perception in the industry, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, but it's because it's professional environment, you want to come across as professional. So me personally, if I had a, you know, nose piercing or whatever it is, I would be step back and ask myself, look, what do I want to prioritize right now? Getting this offer by taking this nose piercing off, or whatever it is, taking it off for 30 minutes, getting the offer, and then being myself later on, or let it cost me an interview. That's a moral question, up to you what you want to do in those circumstances. But also another factor that comes into play is the person interviewing you. So it really is the luck of the draw. Whoever is interviewing you that day, whether they like it or not, whether they are a difficult individual or not, it's the luck of the draw. So play it by ear, play it by what you stand for most. That brings me on to, guys, watches. Once again, simple. My preference is leather straps. Nothing too extravagant, nothing too flashy, nothing that stands in your face, stands out in your face, nothing that stands out too much or is in the interviewer's face. Tie clips, very common question. You know, when you wear a tie, you can put a little metal clip. My preference is not to wear it because it just brings unnecessary attention. I don't really need it. The back of your tie can usually tuck into, there's like a little strap at the back of the tie, you can put it in. Tie clips, you can if you want, but my preference, I wouldn't recommend it. It is an extra bit of detail for no reason, in my case usually. And then jewelry, for guys I wouldn't recommend wearing too much jewelry or any jewelry in any case. So simple watch, tie clip if you want, but other than that, nothing more is needed. If you're wearing a ring, if you need, you know, if you're married, obviously you're going to wear your ring. A lot of the guys in the city, you know, they have those pinky rings. If, you know, it's been passed down, it's a family thing, obviously wear it, but don't go excessive, don't wear too many rings. Because every subtle detail is telling the interviewer something about your personality, about you as a person. And people are quick to make judgments. So they might not know the history behind these things, but people judge very fast. So be aware of that, because it's important to know that these things happen. This brings me on to the next point, which is very important to be wary of when going into an interview. For guys especially, grooming. So whether it's hair or facial hair, make sure it's nice and neat and tidy. So if you're gonna get a haircut, make sure it's something professional. It's important to be yourself, but you have to understand you're going into a professional environment. So you need to understand the culture of the organization you're going and applying to or interviewing for, and kind of, you know, show them that you understand their culture. So smart haircut, make sure you're clean shaven. However, if you do have a beard or you have stubble, or, you know, you're growing facial hair, make sure it's nice and neat, make sure it's trimmed up, shaped up. I don't know if mine is, got a mirror there, it's somewhat shaped up. So make sure it's nice and smart, it looks presentable. Imagine you're going to a client meeting with the CEO of another company who is going to invest money in your business. You want to be presentable, you want to look sharp, you want to look smart, you don't want to go over the top, you don't want to be extravagant. You want them to look at you and be like, okay, this individual can get the job done. So make sure you look smart, your hair is nice and combed, it's smart, and your beard and your facial hair is nice and tidy. If you're going to do stubble, make sure it's tidy. Very important. If you're going to put gel on your hair, don't overdo it. Make sure it's not too greasy. Make sure it doesn't look super wet. Moderate amount of gel. comb it, make it nice, make it presentable, simple. This brings me on to makeup for females. Don't use too much. You can see the theme here. Don't be too loud, don't be too extravagant. Keep it simple, professional, tidy, neat. So for makeup, you use neutral colors. You don't want anything, so neutral colors to your skin tone. You don't want anything too loud. You don't want to use bright lipstick or bright makeup that's going to make you stand out too much. You want to keep it simple and professional, because in the professional environment, neutral colors to the tone are more common than louder colors to the tone, to the skin tone, and it just looks more smarter and professional. So do consider using neutral colors to your skin tone. Almost forgot, nail polish. You want your nail polish to be understated. You don't want it to be like extremely intricate pattern. You don't want it to be standing out too much. Something simple, a French manicure, something simple, not too extravagant. If it matches your outfit, great, but don't make it too loud. Once again, make sure you know your nails are nice and neat and tidy, because if you're putting nail polish or colors on them, it's going to attract attention. So you want to make sure it looks half decent. If you are interviewing, this is a very rare case, and personally I've never come across it, but since we're talking about dressing for interviews, if they tell you, or if you get past the first stage and you're going to later stage interviews, second round, third round, final round interviews, and they say the dress code is casual, you don't want to be that one person who goes fully suited and booted when everyone else is dressed in smart casual. So what does smart casual mean? Even in the corporate world today, the employees, professionals, like even in my last job, when people hear smart casual, no one knows really what it means, but you want to be safe. So for guys, I would highly recommend smart casual. Put on a pair of navy or dark chinos. You can wear cream chinos, but always remember, darker colors are safer. So chinos, put on a pair of smart loafers. You could put suede sofas on. You could put a pair of suede loafers on, or something smart shoes but casual, not trainers per se. Comfortable shoes, but not shoes you would wear with a suit, basically. And then you wear a shirt. You could wear a shirt like this, tuck it into the chinos, and then a blazer is optional. But you won't wear a suit blazer with your smart casual dress. You wear a more casual blazer. Smart casual for females, you can express yourself more because it's smart casual, right? So you could wear a more trendy or more colorful blazer or cardigan, a blouse that has more going on, so rather than a plain simple one for the interview, more. So basically smart casual, you can express yourself a bit more. You can wear brighter colors and more brighter shoes, more relaxed, less formal shoes, but not necessarily extremely casual jeans, t-shirt, trainers. Stay away from that. Focus on smart casual, but not extremely smart, not extremely professional. To wrap up, I want to leave you with 7 top tips. Some of them we've mentioned, some we haven't. First and foremost, make sure your clothes are clean and ironed. You don't want to rock up to an interview looking all scruffy and messy, because that will just tell the interviewer that you don't know how to present yourself in front of an interviewer, an employee, and potentially a client. And so you just look scruffy and messy. It's not a good look. Top tip number 2, fresh breath. Make sure before the interview your breath isn't smelling of coffee. Make sure the mint isn't too strong. Don't have chewing gum, because you don't want to be chewing in an interview and you don't want to ask them. It's just one extra hassle to ask someone, oh, have you got a bin for me to spit this chewing gum into? So avoid chewing gum. Go for a mint before the interview. You don't want your breath smelling of coffee, cigarette, anything like that. You want it to be fresh. And also, if you're going for multiple interviews in one day, often when you're talking and you're not drinking enough water or what have you, oftentimes your breath might start not smelling as nice as it did at the beginning of the day. So keep a few mints with you on the day. Top tip number 3, treat every single interview as it's your first interview, because those impressions that they make are vital to your success along the process. And oftentimes after we do one interview, we might get a bit more relaxed and complacent for future interviews. And so it's important to treat every single interview in the process as if it's your first interview. So you take it seriously, you feel confident, and you conduct yourself in the right way. Top tip number 4 of 7 is avoid trendy outfits and clothes and garments. Anything trendy is too loud for the professional environment or for the interview itself. So avoid anything trendy. Top tip number 5, this one's for females, is your bag. Your bag is very important, because your bag is a very personal item, right? And so you don't want a bag that's too loud. You don't want a bag that's, that doesn't give off the right impression of you as an individual. One thing I would say is don't have a bag that is better than the female potentially who's interviewing you, because I don't know, they might hate on it or they might not like that. So, you know, don't have an extremely expensive designer bag. Go for something simple, match it with the outfit. Don't go extravagant, keep it simple, keep it professional. Okay, second to last tip, number 6, is wear perfume or cologne, but don't spray too much. Don't wear perfume or cologne that's too strong. You don't want the interviewer remembering you as that person who wore perfume or cologne that really didn't smell nice. You know, it's a personal thing, everyone has their own smell preference. My advice would be try and spray nothing. Go smelling of nothing, because that way you're not risking someone liking it or disliking it. So perfume, cologne, keep that in mind before you go to an interview. And last but not least, my final tip and the best piece of advice I can give you is, and I've said it before, if in doubt, leave it out. Whatever you're unsure about, leave it out, don't risk it. So the key takeaway from this video should be for you, when going into interviews, into the city, into investment banking, law, professional services, consulting, you want to come across as smart, professional, simple, not loud, not trendy, not extravagant. And that will serve you well, and hopefully that will help you in securing offers, because you will have prepared well by watching some of my other videos on how to answer interview questions. No, I'm joking, but seriously, that will serve you well. Feel free to share this video with anyone that's got an interview coming up, or anyone or any of your friends that you think it might be useful for. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and stay tuned for next week's video on Wednesday. PS, if you've got any questions or comments or any video suggestions, leave them below and I'll get back to them within a week. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Peace!